Wonder Chrissy, and today we're going to talk a little bit about finance. Going through some experiences with my financial firm that I have. We'll call it Chuck. The company I use is called, we'll call it Chuck. Well, 2 days ago, I think it was day before yesterday, as usual in the morning, sometimes I log on and make a trade or two, and I saw that the market was headed down, right? A very volatile day. It was like down over 1,000 points, almost out of the door, I believe. So I figured I would log on and maybe pick up some stuff on sale, right? Just like going to Aldi's, right? But you're going to Chuck. Um, couldn't get on. First time I've ever had problems logging on. Kind of pissed me off, right? Trying to make a little bit of money and you can't get on a very volatile day. It's not like these days come every week or every month or every quarter. These are special days, right? So I continued to try to get on, and took like 2.5 hours before I could get on. But I was able to get on. And even in the meantime, I called my advisor. We'll call him Geo. We'll call him Geo. My advisor, Geo. Um, of course, he must have been busy. I'm sure a lot of people were calling. So I left him a message saying, hey, this is unacceptable, right? It's unacceptable. What the hell is going on, and why can't I log on? It's not like I've been waiting 2.5 hours. At this point, I called him. So I left him a message. Hey, your system is down, and I hope somebody's trying to address it. So I was able to get on. I was able to make some trades, and but it cost me. I probably, by the time I logged on, the stuff that I was buying had come back a couple, $3, $4 a share. So I probably lost anywhere from $500 to $1,000 in that day. And if the longer I hold on to that stuff, I'm not losing money, but I'm making more. But anyway, so I probably lost 500 to $1,000 opportunity, right? But that's not the part that pisses me off. So when my advisor Geo calls back, he did call back the same day. Give him credit for that. And I said, "Well, what happened?" And he basically read a press release that unfortunate things happen out of our control, and they blamed a third party vendor. And and on behalf of Charles Schwab, we're very sorry. That was it. That was what I got. He did basically read it. He said he just read this. I said, hey, well, that's not acceptable. I said, who's the vendor? Oh, well, we can't tell you it doesn't say who the vendor is. And I said, well, what was the function of this vendor that caused it that I couldn't log on? Oh, we don't know. Didn't say anything about that. So a lot of unknowns at Chuck, right? That pissed me off. So then I tell him, I said, well, and then he went on to say, well, there was two other companies that experienced this issue too. They're large companies. You can find the press release out there on the companies that also had an issue. But I think the biggest impact was at Chuck. I think I heard like 10,000 or 15,000 people couldn't log on. There's some company that tracks that type of stuff. So, his explanation was, well, it happened at these other companies. And I'm like, well, there's a thing called diversification of my money. I said, I've been accumulating some wealth here with Chuck, and maybe that's not a good thing. I said, bigger isn't always better, obviously, right? Especially today when you guys can't get a system to get up or stay up or whatever. And he kind of poo-pooed that, and we went on our ways for the day. And I'm like, all right, whatever. So in the evening, I decided to call the 800 number and see if any new news had come out. And in the meantime, I did a Google on Chuck system outage, and actually found out that around June 7th, about a month ago, 2 months ago, yeah, 2 months ago, June 7th, or was it June or July? I think it was June 7th. They were hit. No, it was July. Excuse me, July 7th. They were hit by the CrowdStrike issue also to some extent, and never reported it to their clients or customers in any way, shape, or form. So then in the evening, I call this 800 number, think, okay, I'm going to see if they got to change their line. They know more about this issue and they're going to come clean. Because I want to know. I want to know what was the issue? Is it corrected? And is it, or is it going to happen again? Right? Is it going to happen again? Basically, which their press release, I don't think it said it's not going to happen again. And most people know, hey, if it happens once, the probability of it happening again is also there too. So I talked to this guy. I said, hey, I'm going to ask you a question. And if you can't answer my question, I said, there's a possibility that I'll be moving my funds. Yeah, we got Mofo there. Yeah, I've been doing this. I've been pissed off with my financial firms, and actually, I got a better story for you too. I'll probably do it tomorrow about my experience of trying to move some of my funds to a new company, which is also kind of like a Seinfeld episode. But we'll get into that later, one story at a time. So I called the 800 number and I asked they have like college kids answering these phones, which is fine. And I said, okay, what happened? And is it going to happen again? And he basically read the press release, a short version of the press release to me again. And I said, well, what vendor is this? And he says, it doesn't say what vendor it was. And I said, well, I would like to know what vendor it is and what function this vendor provided. And he says, well, I don't have that information. I said, fine. I said, you know who I am. You know how much funds I have with your firm there. You can see it right on the screen. And he says, yeah, I can see it. And I said, I'll tell you what, I am expecting a call back by someone who can answer my questions within a day or two. And if they don't, I'll be moving that money to a different firm. So here we are almost 2 days in, and no call back from anybody at Chuck. So I guess the moral of the story is these financial firms don't care about you. They care about your money. So we're going through the process of moving a generous amount of funds away from Chuck, and we'll see if we rattle any cages. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. But it's kind of sad that the customer service is what it is these days. Um, you talk to somebody on the phone, and actually, like I said, I got another story to tell you from another company. Um, they're goofing with you. Well, they shouldn't. Mutha Jojo, they're goofing with you. Well, there's implications, Mutha Jojo, to goofing with me, and we're not talking about $50 here. We're talking about some we'll call it extreme wealth, okay? Extreme wealth. We'll just kind of put it that way. There's some extreme wealth there, and um, like I said, I'm having issues with this other company that I'm working with. We'll call them PJ. So we got Chuck and PJ, and the experience that I'm going through on the PJ side is almost Seinfeldy-ish. It is pretty comical, and I guess I went off on a gentleman, but it'll all make sense when I tell the whole story. But um, going back to the reality of this whole thing, these financial firms don't care about you, because I was at Chuck for probably 25 years. And really all we got from Chuck was a Christmas call from our advisor, which, I mean, he didn't really do anything because we weren't paying him anything. They just wanted to assign us to an advisor because of this extreme wealth. Um, and every once in the past, they used to have events and stuff. We'd get invited to that, but in the last 3 or 4 years, we haven't really been invited to any events or anything. So really, all they're doing is holding my money, and they're making money off my money. Um, I mean that's a given. You don't see it, but they're getting paid for when you buy stocks and everything. They're getting paid for holding those stocks for you by the companies that are issuing those stocks. And when you buy a CD, they're getting a fee for brokering that CD and stuff like that, which is not really disclosed up front. So they're making money off me, and I know that. And um, everyone and for the general consumer may not realize that, but they are. They're as much money as you have there, they're making some money off you. Um, oh yeah, Bubba's dragging his. Well, I can't read all that, man. But anyway, the story continues. Like I said, I'm waiting for a call from another guy today at PJ, and we'll see what's going on there. That's almost as like I said, that's Seinfeldi-ish going on there. So we'll see how that goes. Um, but be careful where you put your money, and I guess today's day and age, the expectation of decent or above average client customer service is is not expected. Not expected. When a company lies to you or is not transparent about the problems that they're having, I take that serious. That's just kind of a flashing red light that something's going on behind the scenes. And like I said, the fact that they didn't disclose anything about the CrowdStrike issue, and then now when they're having a major issue like this, and they still refused to acknowledge what the exact issue was and why it was an issue, kind of is a red flag for me too. So hope you guys are having a good day. And what's it sounds like washing? Yeah, I need to get my iPad or something. I can't see all your questions here. I can just see the first couple of words. So hope you're having a good day. I'll probably be bringing a video in another day or two about what's going on with PJ and as that unfolds. Yeah, I mean, financial institutions are a joke, folks. They're a joke. I've also canceled. I had a credit union for many years, and I did a video probably 2019 about that. Maybe I'll go over that with you guys too, as long as we're only 13 minutes in. I had a I had a credit union for like 20 some years, and I had a decent amount in my checking account, right? Normal checking account, decent amount. And it was the start of the pandemic, and I decided, hey, I need to get some physical cash, right? Need to get some physical cash. So got in the car, went over to the main bank of this credit union, which in the past subsequently was merged and bought out and is now called something else. But anyway, it was a decent credit. It was one of the top 4 or 5 credit unions in the state of Illinois. And I pulled up there and I had a check made out for $2,500. No big whip, right? 2,500 bucks. Go to the bank. They should be able to give it to you. So I put it through I went through the drive through, put it through the little pipe thing, and off it went. Lady comes on the microphone and says, I can't give you this money. And I'm like, well, why can't you? And I said, there should be enough money in the account. Oh, she says, there's not a problem with having the amount in your account. It's just that we don't give out this amount of money unless you call in advance. I'm like, what? So whose money is in the bank? Is that my money in the bank, but I can't get my money out of that bank because I didn't call in? Crazy, right? This is crazy. This is crazy. This is not bell ringing. So she gives me $2,000. Okay, that's okay. I'll take that. That's partially what I wanted, but still, it just pissed me. You guys, if you guys know me, that still pissed me off, right? You gave me 90% of what I wanted, or whatever, 80% of what I wanted, but still, you pissed me off, right? I wanted more, right? And I actually drove like I had to drive 20 miles to get to this bank because it is in Schaumburg. So I go home and I'm like, man, this just really pisses me off. So subsequently, I pretty much moved a lot of my money out of that bank, and actually, in about a week ago, I finally closed that checking account and savings account at that institution, which I had been at for probably 28 years. 28 years, but um, I don't like to be told that I can't have my money. Yeah, so I did change to another credit union closer to my home, and the first thing I asked them was, I posed them the question: if I walk through the door and I have an account here and I have this much money in that account, how much can I get out? And they gave me an answer that was acceptable. So and anytime I go in there, I always ask too, again, just to verify that they haven't changed their policy. But you'd be surprised of the banks that have somewhat restrictive policies. So I urge you to ask your banks, you know, how much you can get out in one sitting, I guess is what I would call it. But even then, I mean, you need to relying on that is not a good thing either, because I like to keep some of this stuff around close to me. Because you never know if it comes down to a cyber attack or something, you're not going to get money out of an ATM, and probably not out of a bank, right? If you saw the CrowdStrike issue, I think that crippled a lot of ATMs and some institutions. It did havoc on the airlines. It also obviously hit my friend Chuck in some way, shape, or form. So just the word to the wise: make sure you have a strategy to get at your money wherever it is, and don't rely on your financial institution. Certainly don't. Like I said, I knew that before this, but I was surprised at how blatant Chuck was to me about really not caring about me. Let's just say that they don't care about me. They care about my money, and we're going to find out here when I move some of that money away from them, how up on things they are. And I'm expecting, and maybe I'll be disappointed, but I'm expecting a call from someone at some point, um, that want to know why I'm doing what I'm doing, and we'll have that discussion when it happens. Maybe I'll be surprised. Maybe they don't care. Maybe I'm just a little pea on the pod, and they could care less. So either way, that's not a good sign for them. And be wise where you put your money, folks, because a lot of institutions don't care. And like I said, I got another story to tell you tomorrow about PJ. And PJ, some people at PJ don't care, and it's kind of comical about my experience today and early this morning with PJ, and we'll go over that tomorrow. But I wanted to share this with you about my friend Chuck. So I'm done. I'm done. Yeah, time for a change. Yeah, definitely. Like I said, I don't put up with this stuff, right? I mean, if you're gonna do that to me, or you're not gonna tell me what the rules are, and this and that, I'm gonna go elsewhere. It's pretty easy to do something, although it takes a little bit of effort. But that customer is king in my book, and if he's not, I'll just keep going on to another institution where maybe I'll get the respect that I deserve. Well, that's how it works. So I'm done. Like, share, and subscribe, guys. I did put out a couple of shorts the last couple of days. Check those out, and check out all our other videos about the economic collapse. I need to do another one of those, but It's clear as day, folks, that our economy's having issues, and stock market's down, right? Stock market's down. It's a buying opportunity if you know what you're doing. Although we're not giving financial advice, but I'm telling you about Chuck and PJ. Over and out, DJ Wonder Chrissy will end this as we always do with a hand slap and a see ya.